Hey guys, this is going Shy Wager here. This is the Derox and Itemm VOD review. Very interesting stuff. Multi POV once again. So we're looking at both perspectives at the same time. This is once again from the same stream that I did yesterday. The first time that I'm doing this. Right now I'm just grabbing one match per person and going really in depth for about an hour. Breaking stuff down. It's a lot to take in when there's two POVs at the same time. A lot to review. A lot more information gained than just looking at one person side to side over and over again. If you guys have any feedback on any extra things I can do, the GFX, obviously, it's black squares right now for where my face is and where the notes are. But I'll be getting more GFX and experimenting with where I want to take notes. Or change things up. So I'll be doing this every Monday for qualified players. We might be able to speed it up once I get good at it as well. Usually doing just, solo VOD reviews, dual VOD reviews just from one POV. But now we find a way to switch things up, which is amazing. So enjoy the VOD review. Leave any feedback in the comments and have a great day. So we got Derox got some shots off, I believe. We didn't get to see it, or I might have edited it out just for the purpose of syncing these two videos. But he landed up on the windmill where the ball's at. Got pickaxed once, claimed an AK, shot the guy. The guy got a rift out of that chest as well. He rifted all the way up and went all the way to haunted double houses, and Derox missed his shots. Itemm lands at the racetrack of Junction, or the quad track. The logic, man, don't think of it as nerves. Just be excited. Don't be nervous. It sounds like a forehead thing. But just convince yourself that you're happy and excited. And that you're in the moment. One big thing about nerves as well is experience, right? It comes from experience. But the way you kind of interpret those nerves is a big part of nerves as well. So if you find yourself being, what's it called? If you find yourself being nervous, just think about what you're happy for in the moment. Think about what you're fighting for. And big chill, man. One thing I tell people who are trying to qual this World Cup is that there's going to be a World Cup next year, right? Hopefully. I think so. This should just be practice for that World Cup. Itemm, welcome, dog. How's it going? What a coincidence. I like you guys' split. Unfortunately, I only have one. Congratulations, by the way. I'm pretty sure both you guys lived this game as well. You guys are clean. I'm focusing on your win. I was focusing on the big wins today, just so I can milk these POVs and VODs. Let me know if you have any feedback of how this is set up. Usually I have notes on the top right. Let me put those down again. Ooh, these are notes from before. Let's clean that up and put up another notes, yeah? Very dope, very dope. You like it? Hey, let's go, man. Congrats, though, man. I will see you in New York. I'm going either way, no matter what happens. Analysis, no analysis. As an audience member, I don't care. I gotta meet the boys. Never seen a split POV before? Yeah, I'm gonna start to do this permanently. When it comes to qualified VOD reviews. For viewer VOD reviews, at least on duos for qualified. For viewer VOD reviews, we'll keep it to that, just straight up strict, fun stuff. But yeah, I'm going either way. If you guys want to meet up, let me know. A bearded lad. This is nuts. So Derox lands a heavy snipe, which is dope, and then just knowing the angle, right? It's just amazing. And I like the fact that Itemm instantly starts running over to see what's up as well. But this is just like, this one you're just clearly better than the other player. I'm not sure if you guys saw that because I was talking. But he hit a very nice heavy snipe from Haunted. Came all the way down. Peeked underneath the wood and got another heavy snipe off as well. The whole time Itemm is still gaining ground, right? Once again, we talk about split drops. The fact that these guys are drops, I wish I could pull up a map right now. Once again, I'll have something else covering the top right side. But when you're this split and you start covering ground faster and faster, and as the zone develops, you never ever lose out on time. So once again, efficiency, right? Like Itemm's looting out all of junk, all of movie studio, all of racetrack, while Derox gets all of haunted, all of the castle. It's just multiple chests, multiple mats. They don't have to worry about taking each other's mats as well or taking each other's ammo. Ammo's a big thing as well, right? One thing you'll notice about duos in these situations, Tetra, Eclipse as well, they never have a lack of ammo because they get to loot so much. And they loot so much because they're so spaced out. Yeah, it's risky. But when you drop very elevated, right? Derox dropping up on Haunted, casing out the entire environment. Tetra dropping up on the drone pad, casing out all of Salty Springs and beyond, off of his flight path. It's not really a risk. It's just a decision that you make. That's good. And you can argue with the fact that there'll be many other people doing the same thing, like Shayo, what if other people drop on me and whatnot. It's not like it's solos where there's 100 different entities. At max you'll get 2 more entities you can deal with, especially on split, right? It'll just segment into 1v1s. And you land safe enough that you can actually adjust mid-flight to link up back with your duo. How are they not contested? Every time we're in finals, there are at least 50 people junking haunted. They had other placements where they came, 40th, 20th. We pulled Glider High. There we go. That's the other thing I was going to say. We pulled Glider High to scout. We know we'd either get haunted or junk free. There you go. I was going to explain that too. I think it was, once again, Cease earlier today that I was watching that was talking about it. It's an old squad strat that many people don't use now in duos, primarily in solos. But when you land split, first of all, from the get-go, like from the very beginning, you're always going to be behind on time and behind on loot. But you make up the loot, the time, and the synergy basically over time as you loot. So if dudes drop on a house, like suppose we'll take Salty, right? I love Salty. Easy examples. If a duo drops on Salty Blue House, right? They have the first 45 seconds advantage on loot and positioning. Because they can loot the whole house, they can get a bunch of mats, they can play on top of it. But as that timer ticks down to a minute 30, that's where they're losing down on time. That's where, the looting is now slowing down because you're kind of looting the same thing over and over again. You met up and you're splitting off. You met up and you're splitting off. You're going over each other's toes, right? And your pressure starts to lessen because now instead of your tether being longer and longer and your entire bubble of space and pressure being bigger, you're kind of playing next to each other over and over again from node to node, loot to loot. But when you play split like this, you land. It takes you a little bit of a while to loot. It takes you a while to get from drop spot to drop spot. But you keep getting stronger and bigger over time until, these guys both have perfect loadouts. They have what they want. They don't have to, excuse me. They don't have to share loot, right? Do you guys understand the ideology? If you think I'm making sense, let me know. If you guys don't think that's it, let me know as well. But that's the advantage and the disadvantage of landing split. And that's why split duos can afford to scout, but people who land together cannot. So, it's dope that you guys are scouting out Paradise Palms, but there's no point in scouting out Paradise and then contesting Hotel, right? That doesn't make sense. It's fine to scout out Paradise Palms and then land on opposite corners. That's the way it works. You scout to see where you can basically have, what's it called? In Hearthstone and in card games, it's called is it called creep? It's not called creep. It's like when you play for endgame, like ramp. It's how you ramp up. Yeah, that's what it's called. Like ramp druid, right? For any of my card game players. But landing split and scouting is just a big investment into the mid game. Because that's when you're the strongest. You're not the strongest earliest. It's not even the strongest latest. But it's very, very strong. Everyone's equally strong end game. It's very, very strong mid game. This game right here qualified you. Hey, let's go. Etherism, man. What's going on? What's it up? Been a bit, almost got grief. That could have ruined our whole thing. Really, man. True. Okay, true. I'll check it out. I watched a little bit of this game while I was recording it. Once again, not sure where the second baller came from. My bad. I was on my rant. Damn, Items ball gets popped. Once again, we talk about tether distance, right? It's almost like baiting your duo in a sense. As they're playing same layer, it looks like. Oh, I know this thing. I think Derox lands a nutty combat shot and follow up. So this is the one thing, right? We saw Tetchin Eclipse doing as well. Look at these two POVs. Item's doing all the building. Derox is using all the pre-positioned builds. They're not going to see where he's coming from. They're going to be tracking Item hard. The fact that he's placing cones and walls as well kind of gives the illusion that there's two people moving around, right? It makes sense for a duo to stay together. But the fact that they stay split in this fight probably wins them the fight. There's no way he knows Derox is here. And boom, the surprise shots, the commitment. Not sure what the hell Mech was doing. Why did you not build there, brother? Maybe because he saw his duo had a line of sight. But at the same time, right? Once Derox starts shooting, Itemm can instantly just move over to exactly where he is and start distracting with his own builds. Even the sound of building, right, gets you to react. Freck and I moving over. Once again, Derox just waits. Nice cones coming in. The staggering gameplay is dope. In the same box, oh no. The pickaxe. We talk about Jesus Christ, it's so hard to follow from different POVs. But let me go back and test this out. If you look at the way Itemm's playing, a little bit of lag. So you can call what's that ball game? Where the ball's kind of on a pole and you hit it back and forth. It's called tetherball. Am I an idiot? Or what's up? Tetherball, right? Okay, dope. So called the tetherball strat, right? A lot of duos will instantly be proactive and both move towards different walls 24/7, just being dynamic. But in this way, or in this sense, a cool way of fighting that I actually haven't seen before is Itemm just kind of keeping that person in his box and just keeping him tracked at all times. Not really looking for new angles, but keeping him at the same angle 24/7. While Derox goes from multiple ways, very loud footsteps, going over multiple layers, kind of forcing Freck to do weird pushes and move in an awkward way. Kind of just, having one person holding the dough while the other person rolls it up and pinches it towards the middle, which is dope. That's really cool. It's good to see from both POVs. You can kind of see the comms working as well. Itemm kind of just calling, he's in my box. I got him in front of me. While Derox say, yeah, I'm going around. No issues. It's nice. I gotta get this VLC thing out of the way. That fight won us the game and got us to qualify. If we lost, I would qualify. God damn, dude. What'd you guys get out of that? I know did you guys already have that rift before? Or did they try to take the fight with that rift? See, one big thing, I can't open up the map right now, but one of the big things about getting eliminations that people don't realize that you can take advantage of, right? I think Derox is taking advantage of it now because he's playing very, very open, going uphill. Is, oh, damn, Itemm. That's huge. That's huge. My bad if I missed stuff like that. But, like, when you get an elimination, an elimination, my bad, don't know why I'm stumbling over my words. There are these, very far edge of zone mid-game rotations. It allows you to basically claim all that ground that the enemy came from as well. Allows you to play a lot more freely. As you see, my man Derox is just flying around. Willy-nilly, nonsense, just looking for loot, looking for anything around him. And a lot of people don't utilize that. They'll sometimes just go straight to zone. They won't take their time. But just know that when you get an elim, when you win a fight, you gain a lot of ground. You gain a lot of, like, as well, that Agario type of analogy. You gain all the glory and the pressure the other person put on the map as well, at the cost of drawing attention to yourself. But if you take your fights in the right places, or if you come back from a fight where someone else tried to grief you in the right places from them, as these guys just did, you gain a lot of options, which is something a lot of people don't realize. So just know, you win a fight, just look for the options that you gained, right? You got new cards to draw whenever you play some. You don't have to stick with the other 2 cards you have left. You just got dealt 3 more. I'm pretty sure they had 2 games after this as well. Second last game, true. They had 1 game. This is your game 7, and it says you played 9 games, I believe. J-Cow, what is up? Why do duos wear the same skin? So the idea of wearing the same skin and having the same pickaxe is it allows that it basically allows enemies to make mistakes and miscommunicate. So suppose me and you are duoing, and then you get hit by a heavy sniper and you're wearing a red soccer skin, and the guy says red soccer skin hit, and then he comes over and starts box fighting, not you but me, who's also wearing a red soccer skin. He might go for over peaks and commitments that he thinks are good, but might turn out bad, because he might over peak thinking all he has to do is deal 50 damage, take 2 shots for 50 damage, while I actually have 200 shield, right? Or 200 health, or 100 health, 100 shield, and then pop back on him. You feel me? So having 2 skins just gives you kind of doubt on how much damage is done to specific individuals. Kind of a safety net, kind of a mental game. Double heavy snipe coming through. Oh no, the VOD is just literally just missynced for damage. Nice shot hit though. And once again, being close, right? Being on the right position of tethering. So they're split, they're looting. When they come together, they look for shots. Or they shoot while they're together, usually. That's a pattern we're seeing on these qualified duos. They're never going to take shots by themselves split. They'll always end up being in a position to fight. Or the best analogy I can give is kind of dungeoning in an MMORPG, or dungeoning in like an just a single player RPG, right? When you arrive at the dungeon with your party, you're all together, and then you kind of branch out, right? And then the next level, you're together, then you branch out to fight over and over again, even in a single player game, right? You'll see all the pathways in front of you. Those pathways will just branch out into trees over and over and over again, right? I can draw this out real quick. So this is you. You see 3 pathways. These 3 pathways lead to, like, 3 more pathways each. It's better to start the fight from right here than at a point like in the middle where you have all these pathways to go through. You feel me? So when you split in a sense, you're at the end of the dungeon, right? When you're split, you're waiting for that journey to end before making a new one. When you get back together, that's where you see everything together. That journey starts once again, and it's easy claps over and over and over. You guys can instantly react to things together from the same angle, make your new angles, make your own pathways to that fight. Catch and Eclipse did it, and now Itemm and Derox are doing it too, which is dope. A lot of the time, people will just freestyle when it comes to W keying, but this is kind of like organized chaos. And then once again, the difference in pressure, especially when people have ramps. Ramps are one of the hardest things to deal with when you have this 180-degree type of pressure, when it's not actually perpendicular but back to back. The ramp edit, no matter what way it'll go, will not save you. Sometimes you can get away with it with pyramids, blocking off one side, falling under your pyramid and going a different way. But with ramps, this guy edited his ramp like 2 times. But the fact that heavy snipers are coming from both ways makes it very, very hard for this individual to go anywhere, especially when he can't turn vertically. We'll see if we go back really quick in both these POVs. Each of these guys are naturally coming from opposite sides as well, right? So if we have the arrow tool, if you allow this to play real quick. So we'll take Derox's POV for example. We got not carries. We got Itemm coming over this way, while Derox is coming over from this way to get on each wall, right? So no matter if this guy edits out, and you see the way they're playing too, right? Like this Itemm's coming over from here. We'll see Derox adjust and stay on this side naturally. It's kind of like, even though they're back to back, they can cover each and every angle. They're playing for each other's blind spots basically, which is dope. Very smart, like natural positioning. That's just practice. You'll see him automatically go to the left. You'll see Itemm sticking towards the right. It's so cool. This tethering is so cool. Once again, even though this is also smart because both sides naturally, if you stick towards the left side of a box, you have a right side peak for it, right? And right hand peaks is what you want 24/7. In order to get shots off without taking damage, in order to have advantage on peaking for shots. So not only do they both, just by being naturally good players, fight for the right hand peak, this type of fighting style gives them the advantage on covering both walls as well, and not kind of stepping in each other's shoes or over each other's toes, which is really dope. It's dope to see from both POVs as well that it's happening naturally. It's really, really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I need to get better at just looking at the multiple POVs. I always look at the top left for some reason. I'm not sure why. Nice. These are kind of 1 second out of sync. My bad for that. Launchpad being split mid drops. Both looking for shots at the same place. Very nice. You'll see how both their attentions go toward the same things 24/7. Kind of a difference in Eclipse and Tetch's playstyle. I think that's also because they both have a heavy sniper. So them both being on the same page, right? And instantly they just split up. One goes up, one goes right and down. Instead of even fighting for that ramp, These guys just have that style, right? They want to be playing back to back. In this case, actually perpendicular. Oh, damn. Multiple traps coming down. Oh, it's his. Oh, never mind. He went down to Derox, who took a trap for the team. No matter what happens, they're always covering for each other. Rather than the last VOD we just saw, where it's always about making plays beforehand, this one's always about just covering each other and taking risks, which is dope. It's a nice style. Nice pushback as well in that fight. Staying anonymous in the beginning, then coming in for that wall edit by Itemm when Derox was up top fighting. Made the individual that they were fighting not have any rest time in that fight whatsoever. In a 1v2, it's dope to take those combat shotgun shots, re-edit your wall, take like a 1 second breather, and then go for the next edit again. No one really commits to, you know, 4 shots or 2 engagements back to back unless it's from the same angle. So when you come from multiple angles, you catch people on the defensive side of things, which is really, really dope. A lot of the times you only really catch people on the defensive side of things when they're trying to rotate. But that's what you naturally want to do after you get an elimination, right? You either want to base up your box, or when you get a knock, you either want to base up your box or you want to back up and, you know, reposition. So in that mindset, right? In that passive mindset, that's where Itemm actually activates and catches the person off guard. Itemm, I did not, man, unfortunately. What I'm going to do is try to record a lot of VODs today and tomorrow, just because these VODs are going to be gone. What's it called? These VODs are going to be gone after tomorrow's patch, right? We're not going to be able to see them. So I'll record those, and then on Wednesday and Thursday, I'll do the same thing. I'll go over them again. Multi-POV. If anything, I can do them offline. This is very easy. Then I'll upload that bitch. Feel me? Hells yeah. How do you deal with solos? They're really boring. VOD review after every time that you die. Solos get a lot more fun when you VOD review. Hey, yo, bro, if you want to record POVs and upload them, go ahead, bro. If you want to just... It'd be good for you as well. I'm telling you, you should get into VOD review as well, Clay. That ass. I'm probably going to end up recording the VODs myself. This is a dope 2-layer tarp on hard mats. Not 2-layer tarp, 2-layer base. I'm losing my mind now. Doesn't matter if you're a bot, man. As I said before, anyone's VOD review is always it's always a good thing. One big thing I want to say though, no matter what, man, there's just one thing to note from this: never drop your rift to take items, like take a shield or do something weird. You never know what happens, and the rift is always what you want in your inventory. Just be careful of that in general, people in the chat. It's a risky habit to develop. All this like about, oh no. Yeah, season 1 player, season 8, all good, man, no issues. You can make the review title from a bot's perspective or something, you know what I mean? If you think that you're a bot. I don't think you are. As long as you can get kills in game, that's fine. Looking for multiple heavy sniper shots. Different angles. One person looking north, the other person looking like west. Now they're both looking at the same thing. One thing that I and a lot of people haven't realized is trios will allow you to triple heavy snipe, which is going to be huge. You can't block with ramps anymore. Nah, man, Clay, you're only a bot because you haven't done it yet, man. Trust. Yeah, ramps will not save you. It's going to be very bad, yeah. I realized that the other day when I was talking about trios with my friends. Nice try on the setup. But there are risks to taking these shots right now. Unmentioned that. Triple RPG is going to be pretty bad as well. Upsilon put that thing on Twitter where you can RPG out of a rift. Kind of like how you can shotgun when you're, you know, just in that rift animation. You can throw an RPG towards high ground as well. If you guys didn't know. I mean, Itemm, you gotta leave the game, bro. There's no way. Like that right there, sitting in your cone, you can get triple heavy snipe, which is nuts. Just don't give them the point. LOL. So one thing with this strat, right? What you can do in this situation is actually edit a door on this side. So what that'll allow is this You know, these finished metal plates, they'll actually start over here, instead of the left side. If anyone's trying to peek and have a longevity on peeking, the metal plates will actually start wherever the door is. You know, because right now his line of sight at the moment is covered, as you guys can see. We'll see if that continues really quick. You see how he has to over peek towards the window? He can stay on the left side if he wants to. All you gotta do is edit a door on the other side. Ace, how's it going, man? Welcome. What is up? Ariel, how's your day going, bro? Dizzy, what is up, brother? Don't sleep on those door edits, man. Reposition your walls. I don't even want to think about triple heavy sniping. That shit is wild. Someone asked me about storm flip. I don't know why you guys are hitting your own walls over and over again. It happened like 4 times now. Very good day off. Hey, let's go, man. So the storm flip, man, I don't know what it's gonna do. I'll be honest. Going 1 layer up because they got zone. It was Derox. He's a bot. Understandable, man. He's not in the chat either. Big bot. Big butteroni. Damn, nice GLs. This is such an overpeak, man. What is Derox doing? He can get big sniped. Holy moly. Hello? There's people in the metal base? Monka ass. All good? Oh, you guys didn't hear heavy yet? True. So one thing that Nick Merckx does is that he doesn't shoot his heavy until the 4th zone's circle is moving, which is pretty cool. He did that for 2 games, and he got like 3 picks off, I believe, in duos yesterday. But hey, you know, use what the server's giving you. You don't hear heavy yet? In 5th zone, already activating. I think it's safe enough to peek. No cap. That's smart. I just have so much PTSD, bro. Swear to God, people save the heavy snipers till 9th zone to spite me. One thing you can do to block parts off, though, with limited mats is you just put a pyramid beside your actual base, like up top. Like if we go back here real quick. So I understand that you have like a lot of pressure over here, right? But in general, people just put a pyramid right here. Hello? This is like the worst pyramid I've ever drawn in my life. There you go. That kind of looks like a little bit of a pyramid. This can easily block off any odd shots and let you peek your head over just a little bit. And then with that as well, if you want to peek towards that side, you can just edit the pyramid up, and it's an easy breakdown of that pyramid. I know people put walls up sometime, but the walls can sometimes be too high key, give away that you're peeking, and be kind of hard to edit through and around. Offer like off angles as well, but with the pyramid you can over peek just a little bit. Storm flip, though, the easiest. We'll talk about that just for a little bit. I 100% think that Stinker is going to be vaulted this patch. 100%. Quote me on that shit. Storm flip is going to be interesting, man. I guess it does the exact same amount of storm damage that's happening right now, so it'll be useful endgame. But the balanced out endgame, if you throw the storm flip at someone and then they run into storm, or if storm's coming in, they stop getting damaged. Like I don't know what it's gonna do. If it's something that where you can, like, you know, go into the storm and charge it up, like, you know, siphon up the storm into it and then throw it afterwards, and while you're siphoning you don't get hit, but you have to have it out and you can't shoot, that'd be a cool item. But do they have the technology is the question. Yo, the person Z, thanks. What up, man? Itemm, thanks for the follow. J Cow as well, welcome. J Cow, where do I know you from? Very familiar name. When you throw it, you get center zone. Okay, I hope you're not right. You're a mod on the comp Reddit. Oh, yo, welcome, man. Dope. I was reading a lot of it today. Hope that job's not too hard. Once again, we look at different places you guys are looking at, right? When they're beaming, they're beaming. When they're shooting heavy snipes, they're both shooting heavy snipes. That's all with comms as well. The issue here right now, though, where they kind of lose eliminations, where we see a lot of other people stack on them, right, is focusing on the same people. So this is where sometimes it's a risk versus reward thing. When you focus on two people separately, yeah, you have the option of two elims. When you focus on the same person, you kind of give them that option of two elims, which you have a high chance of getting that one elim up. Taking turns. This is actually interesting. I've never seen this before. One person kind of watching while the other person spams. They're watching the same direction to see any anomalies or directions beside it. It's kind of like if they both had a fuel gauge, right? If they both had a battery pack, if tunnel vision drained the whole battery pack because one person isn't tunneling and one like at all or even shooting and the other person's completely tunneled, it kind of balances things out. That's a really cool type of engagement to take onto enemies. I've never actually seen anyone do that. I've usually seen either two people focus things completely separately or two people focus things together while shooting. It's never one person kind of just looks while the other person shoots. That's really, really cool. That's a very, very smart heavy snipe GL combo. Now, you know, the one thing that Splodes can do, right? We talked about, I think this is a very, very long time ago. Splodes versus or like just utility in general, how to use it, how to utilize it, and like, you know, squeeze the most out of it. Whenever you throw Splodes, whenever you use stink grenades, it's all about you doing something with your body or you doing something in the server to get a further utilization outside of just the damage or it breaking mats. So whenever you throw Splodes at someone low ground or you throw Splodes at someone and they have to rebuild multiple boxes or you knock out a lot of their boxes, if you follow up with spam, it allows you to have the option of the server to get in with you and focus that person. So it basically allows you to make a play, right? It's kind of different than just throwing your nades, reloading your nades, rethrowing your nades, reloading your nades. To put up another analogy up on the table as well, it's kind of like just throwing a stink and not shooting the wall as well while the stink is going down. Or shooting an RPG and then not rotating after it if your back is stuck against the wall. Just shooting it to destroy the builds, right? You always want to do something with your utility where you can actually put an action afterwards that relates to the utility to give yourself kind of an advantage and milk that utility for all that it's worth, right? It's taking up a slot in your actual inventory. So make it worthwhile. Get the most out of it. But don't tunnel too hard, right? The thing about this, though, where you kind of relieve pressure from yourself in this specific instance of throwing the GL and shooting right afterwards, kind of goading people into combo and, you know, kind of third party with you, is that a lot of people who are threats to you, like this guy with quick edits for headshots, or anyone around here who isn't looking at Itemm and Derox, or isn't on their screen, instead of shooting through their walls or trying to build up on them, they'll see this opportunity as well. They might either be inclined to shoot with them to try to get the chance of that elimination, or they might see that the entire server is focusing a box. Hey, it's time to rotate, right? And that might put Itemm and Derox in an even better position. Just looking at the whole map, it's always good to make sure other people rotate before you. It gives you stuff to play off of. So even though this is a very small gesture, just the importance of using more than just your utility for just the base value of it, getting something out of it after the fact, whether it's a free simple shot, whether it's a server influence shot, or a server influence type of, you know, bullying on that specific person. It's dope. I like it a lot. GL comes down again to kind of give the message that, hey, you're not getting out of this. The man's forced to use utility. The man's probably going to get hella beamed. You'll see the whole server shooting now. Now, this is not only going to cause, you know, once again, you're thinking about the whole overall arc of the game, right? Smart players will know that while these shots are going off, there are going to be people rotating on low ground and mid ground. Now that this guy's knocked, you'll see instantly Derox goes to see any mid ground changes to where he was looking in the map before. We'll see Itemm checking out his opponents once again. Have they moved? What's happened? No one's kind of peered over yet. So that's one thing you guys can take an advantage of, if you aren't already, is looking at the server's developments while you're doing work, right? Just because it's nighttime in America doesn't mean it's daytime somewhere else in the world. Everyone is always working while other people sleep. That's always a mentality you got to have, where you're going to tunnel vision your way away from knowing enemy positions, right? No point in knowing where enemies are and what they're doing for 5 minutes if you miss 1 minute of information and the zone starts moving. Can you review some solo VODs? They should be in my actual videos, man. Nice team shots coming in once again. Derox being the person not to tunnel, look around. Itemm also stops shooting. We talk about the checklist, right? The checklist is always look at who is contesting your height, look for rifters, and then put pressure down in terms of when you're on height. So they're looking at, you know, who is contesting their height right now. They're actually getting ready to rotate. This is kind of a different checklist. We talk about pivot points on the map, right? When you rotate, how you rotate, who you're rotating off of. It's a very interesting rift. Oh, hold up. Let's go back real quick. How do you feel about the new storm item? I think it's cool, but we have to see how it's used. I don't think they're going to be, we got to see what it does. It's gonna take over Stinks 100%. What is this? So they rift from back here. They could have gone for that 100%, that ping. But Derox goes straight down. Okay. This is a really cool strat. So what this does is it basically cucks the people out back who were already on height, doing some weird shit with their ramps. Going for the highest point near the central zone on 6th lets you basically establish a new height. If the zone bounces back, you can connect. If there's anyone else fighting, you can go for that build fight and connect as well. There's no way he's going to stop the storm, man. That'll make things so weird, I don't even know. Now a very connected build fight will happen. A lot of mats being used. This is aggressive, but it puts you in probably the best position to get eliminations around the map and provide pressure. One thing that I talked about, I think 3 weeks ago, is the drop height of rifts and launch pads, or the deploy height, right? So getting to a fight like this and having it supported not only allows you to have a lot of pressure on the people below you and give you a little bit of leeway, because you obviously these guys went a little bit further into the zone to or into the safe zone to get this build up. It also allows you to get the deploy height right in front of your face or even below you, which makes it so much easier to shoot because you have to move your mouse a lot less, and it's a lot less and it's a lot more accurate when you're shooting vertically downwards versus upwards, where your mouse and your micro kind of not fixations but adjustments, yeah, your micro adjustments on your mouse and your aim have to be a lot faster and a lot more precise when you're looking upwards, because every movement is a lot more jarring. Where when it's lower, it's a lot more tracking, a lot more, you know, when someone turns and moves 3 meters, it's a lot of a shorter distance on mouse travel speed when you're looking lower versus when you're looking up. 3 meters when you're looking upwards, you gotta cover a lot more ground with your aim. This is a dope spot to be in, just to bully people, right? That person can't really go anywhere. And then once again, they're working the checklist that Mr. TW of Bala gave us so long ago, where you check rifters, you check people building up to you, or check people building up to you first, then check rifters, and then make plays afterwards off of height. A nice launch pad coming in. So they're using utility as like a less of like a like gaining a safe position tool, more of like a readjustment tool. A lot of people will use mobility to skip zones, right? And skip instances of the entire game to save mats, but they kind of just play those instances out and then use the utility to skip the zones entirely, which is really fucking cool. It allows them to always be in the action 24/7 and be in their mobility phase a lot less. A lot of people spend, like, you know, the majority of their time 6th to 9th zone in shadow grenades, flying off the rift. But over here, they get to apply their pressure so much more. We'll notice, I guarantee height is not as massive unless they get to another build fight. Because this is not that high. This is like 7-8 stories high maximum. Maybe 10 stories. Usually height gets up to like 15, 20 stories sometimes with rifters and whatnot. But this is barely even slipstream height, dude. It's like 8 stories maximum. Once again, they put so much pressure down onto multiple people after shooting off of height as well, that people are either healing, they know that someone owns it, or the third option, they don't even know where height is, so it's not even worth looking at if it's not directly above you. This is dope pressure. Pressure off of constant action. Christ. That sent 14 videos. I like that possible combination too. And they're always sticking 2 mats apart at all times. Once again, the deploy height is right under them. It's going to be impossible for people to make plays. So as one person, once again, you know, we talk about directional pressure. Derox is covering all the sides that Itemm cannot. So no matter what happens, Itemm has this whole pathway here. Derox has this whole lane and pathway here. This person's forced on his own lair by himself. There's nowhere he can move. There's not much pressure he can apply himself to reestablish. By moving this way, Derox also denies Milan completely any pressure or relief that he can put out, because he's going to be in between these two duos. If he owns any of these fours here, it's going to be very, very hard for Milan to get in and close to TSOO. We're just going to call him Ooh for now. Smart, you know, when they split up, it's for a reason. When they split up, it's always to cover more ground to fight. It's some good shit. They stay together for that shot to happen. A lot of these fighting duos do the same thing. And once again, you know, multiple layers, multiple angles. There's no way Itemm will ever see that floor or the floor below him. But Derox just being to the side, them being tethered apart as his own moves in, you know, clearing the dungeon, getting towards those final dungeons and those final layers at the end, as we discussed before, and then meeting back up for the next phase of the dungeon, or zone 9, right? And then splitting apart once again to come back for the next phase, the end game. The more and more they split as the zone goes later and later, the more flaws they see in enemies' builds, right? You think about it logically. If someone is building in a certain way and not getting punished for it, right? Either you're saving mats by not putting walls down, you keep moving the same way, you're leaving an opening, but no one ever punishes it. So to you, it's not an opening. You don't even notice that. If you let these bad habits develop in enemy players while they rotate around you, and then exploit them when you're all the way near the end, that's where you start splitting up. That's where you go for those angles, right? You stay together first to stay safe, to maintain your position, to maintain your pressure. Then you split apart to see, you know, how has your pressure developed. You crack the egg first, and then you open it up. You can't open up the egg without cracking it. It doesn't make sense, right? You can't open up these players without, you know, letting them kind of fester, letting them kind of make the mistakes they're going to keep on making. It's real dope. I never actually thought about it that way. A lot of people make the mistake of, you know, constantly just trying to go wall to wall. They'll drop down fast. And now these guys are staying split. They're putting pressure everywhere they can. Connor with the 6 viewer host. Thank you, my friend. Hope your stream was nice. TS finally going down. They finally found cracks. For me, what I saw over here is that looks like these guys, or TS, kind of slowed down off of the multiple angles of pressure, right? We talk about moving forward. If you're moving forward on one tarp, or one just one layer, one box, you move fast. But if you have to move to cover multiple angles, you have to make multiple boxes, as TS did over here. You know, left, right, 2-layer boxes, or side-by-side boxes, you slow down. And that's where Derox can catch up, claim walls in front of you, have that heavy sniper advantage. TS was like literally 2 to 3 boxes ahead of these guys at all times. But because of that split pressure, it makes him kind of play for insurance, and it makes Derox and Itemm collect on that insurance as he moves up. It's meticulous. It seems natural. It doesn't even seem pre-planned. Once again, exploring that dungeon now. Seeing how, you know, as much loot they can get, as much XP they can get from this. It's dope. This is such a dope way of moving around the around fights in the end game. See, now as the zone closes and the new one starts, just notice they're literally on the same mat. They come together, right? They're now exploring new grounds. Now they're going to come together again, then split apart. The flower blooms as the zone progresses. You don't see a full bloomed flower until you know the zone's gone for about 20-30 seconds. They get together, they make their game plan. If anything bad happens here, right, they can both start from the same spot. A lot of the times, one thing that people don't understand is a lot of the movement, riffs, launch pads, plays are always made when the new zone starts. When it hits zone 7, when people see where they need to go, right? They always want to play with insurance. They want to make sure the zone's not bouncing back in any way. You know, if we want to make that last ditch effort, you need to make sure that all other avenues are exhausted. That includes, you know, having info on the last zone. Because if you don't, that's an avenue you could save for yourself for the very, very end. But this is very smart. I love it. Still has many GLs. Very smart not using them. Once again, the chaos has not started yet, right? One thing I noticed while watching this, I understand that Itemm was trying to go for GLs within these boxes. But a more efficient way of doing something like this is if Derox went down, put 2 walls, and then came back up. Or even just put 1 wall. It'd be so much easier to chain GLs over and over again that would fall through into the boxes, especially with 6, right? Like right here, just putting up walls on this side and this side and throwing the GL up in the corner, right? Or just putting a wall here and throwing the GL up in this corner. It's a very smart strat to kind of get walls down over and over again. You can do a similar strat with RPGs where if you're sitting on someone's box and you put 2 walls down, stay in the opposite corner and shoot the RPG at this corner at the top, you can break the whole box and fall down, similar to the old pyramid RPG trick. But very easy thing to do near the end game if you're kind of split already as these guys are. Derox playing a little bit lower. The grenades will never actually harm him. They'll always pop at a later date. This strat, man. I know GLs are kind of slept on. A lot of people are utilizing them. I forget who it was. It might have been Monster Deface who had dope ass GLs. He was playing pubs though, or arena. Everyone's used to bouncing them properly, but no one's used to using them with mats yet. We'll keep watching it. Once again, multiple angles, right? Items the one with less mats. Derox is the one down. The fact that he's just shooting up top pyramids vertically, because people usually do look up and see where the shots are coming from, it allows Derox the room to go for other types of pressure as well. That's unsuspected. So over here's where you kind of need to make an opening. Here's where you need to crack the egg immediately in the end. See how hard it is to land these GLs? Confirming the E11 is dope just in case they both do get erased from the game. Also good for HP. That insurance is dope even though he has no mats. Derox dropping down first after the Elim. Itemm coming up second. This is nice bait either way. In a 2v1. Especially on the backside of zone. You can always bait the person to go for, another shot. As this is just textbook, you can't really analyze much about it. That was just a good win, a good drop down, good timing in general. Maybe Derox overextended a bit, but that's what we call, that's the point of multi-layered insurance. No matter what happens, as long as Itemm is a good player and hits his shot, can't really not be a good player if you have E11 in front of your name. You just pop off. It's good shit, man. That was my last VOD. Thanks to for the multi POV stuff, right? I don't have any more multi POVs. I only took 2 because I did record some Brazilian VODs to actually just go over myself. I might turn those into multi POVs, but it takes like 20 minutes to render. Things to learn from this. We talk about that dungeon type of if you didn't even notice, thank you Itemm for playing an amazing game. This end game type of dungeon strategy, right? Tetra and Eclipse were using it early game where they stuck together to analyze where they wanted to go and then split apart for loot to make sure they're ramping up properly, right? In end game, the fact that whenever the zone closes, these guys build up together and stay together, then spread apart as the zone starts to move forward, just in case they want to support each other. With basically numbers instead of damage. When you're together, you got numbers. When you split apart, you have more areas of damage, right? The damage works well when you want pressure. The numbers work well when you want to control your lair. They're always doing it at the proper times. A lot of people you'll find sometimes will stay split or start focusing multiple different people when the zone closes. That's not the wave, right? When you're in a dungeon, when you first start it, stay with your party. When you want to loot the dungeon a little bit more as the dungeon progresses, that's when you split apart. They're really good at doing that. The same thing with the early game ramping, right? Staying split, staying hovered is a very dope strategy because it lets you ramp into mid game so much better. It's just very, very risky early game. But if you scout well in the air and, have a ball as well, which is huge for Derox in the starting game, you'll see multiple POVs where Itemm is completely comfortable backtracking, going towards Junction from, what's it called? Not movie studio, but the quad racetrack, right? It allows him to have all of that free, all that ramp up for free, and then move towards Haunted, where Derox is, to move towards the zone. Derox, on the other hand, has so much pressure that allows Itemm to get stuff for free. And with the ball, has enough of a ramp up himself. The ball is one of the best ramp tools in the game for getting loot. To apply pressure and then just double back on where he was coming from easily with the ball to get his own items for himself to ramp up as well, just by playing information. Yeah, I hope you guys learned a little bit from that. It was really dope. I like the way these guys take those back-to-back fights as well. I'll draw it up with the box again. If you have a box, and this is the front side, this is the back side, and this is like the aerial view of it, right? We're looking at a bird's eye view. Bird's eye view. Very nice. I love this tool, man. We'll have Itemm coming in from his natural right hand peak, and we'll have Derox coming in from his natural right hand peak, and that covers both this wall, and obviously puts pressure on this wall and this wall. And the fact that they both have right hand peaks means if this guy tries to edit up, it's not possible. So check that out, right? This is a dope thing that I learned, that you know, you want to implement this stuff naturally. If you and your duo partner are having trouble box fighting, try this out. Try naturally going for right hand peaks while you take walls with your duo partner. It'll cover more angles. It'll cover hella more angles. You know, we'll look at if you're going from it in a perpendicular motion as well, right? Just coming down from each side, or if we go from the other way, having a right hand peak from both sides here, like Eclipse and Tetra did. Wherever this guy edits up, you can always answer. There'll always be an angle. There'll always be an angle. There'll always be an angle. And yeah, you know, I've gone over some topics before, so my bad if I miss things or if I don't say them, you know, at the same time once again. When you play a game like this, where you have these, you know, aggressive right hand peaks over and over again, you exude confidence. The more confident duo will always win, even if they have less health. It's always about having a game plan, a proper one that covers multiple avenues of yourself and your duo partner, and then just winning. That's all that. It's just put in the hours, put in the work, and good things will happen. Welcome back, Anthony. What is up, my friend? But yeah, Itemm, man, have fun in the World Cup. I'm looking really forward to seeing you. Not sure if you've been to the US before. I've been there a little bit. I'm in Canada right now, so it's a little bit different. I hope you guys enjoy this format. Next time I do this, I will not have this blank. I'll have a map out, or I'll have an aerial view out over here. It's going to be insane. How's yeah, man? It'll be fun. It'll be hella fun. Anyone have any last minute thoughts on this new setup? I know a lot of people say they like it. Should my face be bigger? Is this a good size? Do you want me to be this? That's too big. Holy moly. Let me know. I think that was a good enough size. I can have some graphics around me over here. I just wanted to get this set up and set out. Not big enough. Yeah, Itemm is EU. It's kind of wild that the top 3 duos already qualified. And so they gave it to the other 3 at the, not the bottom, but you know, the bottom 6. It was wild, man. If you're making some graphics, you'll go for it, man. I need a Twitter header as well. I'm trying to look for someone. I'll pay someone for that, dude. My header is my dog right now. I wanted to be a little bit more official. Yo, Itemm, thank you for that shout out on Twitter, man. I appreciate that. I'm going to put this shit up on YouTube. I'm going to go home. I'm going to celebrate Eid. For any Muslims in the chat, Eid Mubarak. Sorry for the short VOD review today. If you guys want to see my solo VOD reviews, there are on my Twitch channel. If you don't want to see them there, it should be up tomorrow. Atlantis TKG is good for headers. Yeah, I got you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you don't, dislike it, and then let me know what I could change. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.